This is East Idaho Newsmakers with Nate Eaton.
Thanks for being with us today. We are talking with Seth Aaron. He was recently hired by FinFun to design a whole new line, develop a whole new department, take the company to a whole new level. And he is here to talk with us about that adventure that he is beginning. Also, you may recognize him. You've been on a couple of national television shows on some networks.
Times.
Yeah, tell us about that. Project Runway, correct?
Yes, Project Runway was the first. That was in 2010. And then I won that season, which is 7. And then I went back to that in 2014 for the All-Stars version. And then I won that one. And then recently I was on the final edition, which was international. And I didn't win that one, but I didn't expect to. Yeah, we're all friends there and having a really good time. And then spins off of that, I've done multiple publications with Marie Claire, People Magazine, Entertainment Weekly. I did Good Morning America twice, Regis and Kelly twice. So I've been on a lot of different type level shows, but working with Lifetime and Disney and Weinstein and those companies.
And now you're on East Idaho Newsmakers, so.
Which is great.
Thanks for adding us to the list.
This is not less pressure.
Yeah, let's go back to the beginnings of when you knew you wanted to be a designer. Was this something that you've wanted to do your whole life?
Yeah, it was probably, I knew I wanted to be in some sort of entertainment. So I was a creative child. I grew up in a household of, my father was a cartoonist and illustrator. He actually drew for Disney in his 20s for a few years. And so I grew up around, art boards with cartoons all over the house and just kind of a whimsical world. And, I was always putting on some sort of show or display. My grandpa always tried to say, "Oh, you need to be an actor. That's where it is. I'll send you through school for it," because I was always in the middle of the room doing something. I was that kid.
Sure. Yeah.
They probably just want to get rid of me, right?
Yeah.
So, but I've always been into clothes since I was like 2 years old. I loved going shopping with my grandmother at Bloomingdale's and my mom, wherever they went, thrift store. It didn't matter. I just liked clothes. I was always a tidy, well put together kid. Mm-hmm. You have your play clothes where you go get dirty and play Army Man, and then when you go to Grandma's, you better change. I was that type of kid where you dress for the occasion.
Sure. So you're always dressed nice on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
Back in the day, at least. Okay, so you're interested in it as a teenager. Where do you go from there to ultimately end up on Project Runway?
Well, as a teen, I was born and raised in San Diego. And so I was always skateboarding or surfing. I lived the beach life. And, as a kid, we always alternate, punk rockers, skateboarders on the beach. We're always changing our clothes and making them not what they were. So it was all about that, the true grit of punk rock and the innovation. And so I just had a knack for it, growing up with shape and everything. I understood shape from the time I was a kid, and appearances, like what looked right together, or if you want to look like this, how to put all that together. I just no one taught me. That's what I liked and I understood it. So going from that, and then I started work in, after high school, I started work in television. I was a PA and then a coordinator assistant and so on and so art department. I did that for about 2 years. And then I started working as a stylist, a fashion stylist, so I would dress people for catalogs, whether it be Target or Nordstrom or whoever. I'm the one that puts all the clothes on the model and makes the room look like a set.
Oh, wow.
So, and I've done that for the last 19 years. Halfway through that, about 12 years ago, Tina, actually, my wife, bought me a sewing machine. Says, start making your own stuff. Quit using other people's. And because I always talked about it, but I was busy working, I just never did it.
Sure.
And so that was a Christmas present, which was the greatest Christmas present ever, because next morning I got on that thing and I went to my mom's and I grabbed some fabric and I just started making stuff. And within a year I was selling in little boutiques. and I never used a machine in the past. It was I always just hand stitch everything or stapled or whatever, safety pins.
Yeah.
So I just started doing it, and then, a couple of years after that, Tina again told me about this television show, this new one, and that's when it first came out, season 1. And I said, well, when do you do that? And she said, well, they've already done it, but the next one is for season 2, and so, or whatever season was, I don't remember exactly. So I went back and watched them all and figured out, okay, this is what it is. And I prepared and I went and auditioned, which is a big audition process, huge application. You gotta go stand in, like American Idol. You gotta stand in line for hours and hours. They see you, they look at it, evaluate, and either move you on or say, oh, you're not quite ready or whatever, and so on. Tim Gunn was there at that very first one I went to. And he said, you have something here, but you're not quite ready. So I want you to go back and work on this and then come back next season. So I did. And I come back and he goes, okay. Basically, it was mentoring, coaching me on how to win the show. How, like, if you apply yourself, you have the talent, you need to fine tune it. And he was at Parsons for 28 years. He was the director of it all.
Wow.
And he was at Liz Claiborne for 30 years. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, okay, Tim. So I go back. And so I tried I tried 3 times like that, and he kept saying, okay, you're almost there. You're almost there. 4th time I came back, and this was in Seattle, and I walked in, and it was him and someone from Marie Claire and so on. I don't know, it was a big blur back then. But I walked in and he looked up and he goes, oh, nice to see you again. You ready? He didn't even, but we want to see your stuff. I mean, he knew when I walked in, I came in and he said, wonderful, she's all, I'll take it, and these are editors, right? And they're all, I'll take that, Jack, he prepared me to be there.
Wow.
And so I went on and he's mentored me ever since and still today. And so he helped me grow, and that's what he does. He's not a designer, but he knows how to make people succeed in what they're doing in that industry.
So have you always been interested in a particular type of clothing, women's, men's, a particular style, or are you open to whatever? Does it all interest you?
It all interests me. Everything does, all design. Buildings, I've designed furniture, pet clothing, women's, men's, kids, it doesn't matter. I do mostly geared towards women's. That's where in the beginning, that's where the mass market was, meaning, more volume. Sure. I guess they were more like every season, buy new, and always open for new ideas and great. Where men's always tend to be more conservative unless you come from a certain background, like I did, where anything went, But now today, that's all switched. I mean, men's fashion is just as big as women's, and kids is huge, and pets are gigantic. So I've dabbled in every type of design, every category, but also every style. And I definitely have a point of view, my core sense of design, which leans more towards very tailored, structured, well-fitted clothing versus, flop a sheet over someone, wrap a belt around. Yeah, I can do that, but it's not my favorite.
Sure.
So I have a sense of a point of view on what I like to design best. But I've done it all.
So how does someone like you, who's been in LA, San Diego, New York, Portland, on the east and west coasts, end up here in East Idaho, Idaho Falls?
Well, the way I look at it is you're ready for a new chapter, a new adventure. And I have been there, and I can move to New York and I could get a job, no problem. But I wanted something new, a new challenge. And that's how I ended up here 4 months ago.
So you get contacted by a representative from FinFund. Had you heard of FinFund before?
No, never. It actually, there was they hired a recruiter out of LA, and I saw the job, they sent me the job post, and I sent in my information, and that's how we got connected. So I've never heard of FinFund or Blue Spring Partners. And I certainly always have admired aquatics growing up in San Diego, and I certainly knew a lot or some about sirens and mermaids, but not in depth to what I know now.
Sure.
So that's a brand new challenge, right? It's like, oh, I can come here and bring what I know to help grow the company with something brand new I've never dealt with. So.
And you mentioned you're not necessarily designing the swimming tails that we've all seen, you know, that have been exploding across the internet, but this is to take the company to a whole new level.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm definitely involved with those types of things, but I mean, they have that down and they do it well, you know, and they have I don't know if you've seen the story on where they started, you know, grandma and everything. That's another reason the job really intrigued me. It's family owned. I work for a lot of big corporations, and you know how that goes. All the red tape, all that. This is really like a ground roots, like you feel like part of the family that started it. And it being family owned, that's one of the really appealing aspects of it to me. So, yeah, I'm definitely involved with you know, the weekly meetings with the new tales, but so is the rest of the company. But what they've ultimately hired me for is all new products moving forward, meaning we're expanding a full. My first line will be resort swim for women and children and some boys, and then that will go into men's. But that will also go into fall, winter. So we're really expanding it out into full-blown lifestyle brand, apparel and home, and those products, you know, gift products, everything.
So really, in a couple of years, FinFund could have a whole new division. Well, it will have a whole new division of different departments.
It's right away.
Yeah.
Meaning, I've already done the first resort wear. It's at two different manufacturers getting sampled now. So they'll go into the showroom in May, and then we'll be launching that in Vegas at Magic, which is the biggest buying retailer show. So all the buyers from everywhere, boutiques, from North, everybody comes there, and to buy lines.
Wow. So you're hoping at that point they see it, and some of the big retailers say, I want that. Get that in our store.
No, I'm hoping in May when it goes in the showroom, they want it then, and then that's the way it works. So they come to Magic to place the order they already committed to.
Wow.
So we want to sell like pre-show, but then also all the other ones coming through during the show.
Wow. Tell us about the photos that we have here from the Palm Springs. Was that a Palm Springs show?
Yeah, it's called El Paseo Fashion Week. It's one of the biggest show on the West Coast or Southern California, and it happens to be in Palm Springs. It's put on by Palm Springs Life magazine. It's structured identically after Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week in New York, which I've shown at twice. So I mean, it really is structured exactly like that. It's a wonderful show. So this is my third year participating. And they do like a special night for us Project Runway people. So like this year it was myself and Michael Costello, Mondo Guerrera, Victor Luna, and Anthony Ryan, who was on the current All-Stars with me. And so we have our night. And it's a sold out show. You know, there's 1,000 VIP seats, and then there's 1,000 people standing there. It's a packed house. And so I thought of, Michael contacted me and he said, do you want to show this year? I said, well, I just took this job. And I said, yeah, I do. Because I thought I could do my show like I normally do, but it's inspired by Sirens, which then relates back to the company now that I'm working for and their core and my runway, you know, here, and it all tangles together in the middle. Yeah. So the imagery is from that show. We showed 10 looks, 100-foot runway. And like I said, it's a packed house. You know, a lot of media. We do a press conference and all that before. So.
And was this dress behind you one of the ones that was at that show?
It was. This was inspired. Again, all this was inspired by like Greek mythology, sirens, where mermaids eventually, where they started, and then they've gone over the different mythologies and evolved into what we see today, like the Little Mermaid and things like that.
So you designed this dress. Did you sew it? Put it all together?
I did.
You did everything on this dress.
I even bought the fabric.
You bought the fabric. You bought the fabric. You designed it. How long does it take you to design something like that?
It depends on my mood.
Yeah.
I can literally do that in 8 hours, or I could do it in 3 days.
From start to finish?
Yeah. It depends on the mood I'm in. Like on Project Runway, we have, like on the first show, we had from start to finish, buying the fabric, everything, we had 16 hours to complete everything. Before it's walking, that's it, it's done. All Stars, you have 11. So that, I'm good at time management, and again, knowing exactly what I want to do. So that's how that played well for me on that show, because I was efficient,
Sure.
If I have too much time, I overthink things where other people need a month.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just a different personality. I'm a fast-going person. So
if somebody saw that and said, I want to buy that.
They already have.
They have.
3 times over.
And you selling it?
Yeah.
And
Actually, I've sold that one.
Then you could produce that in mass.
Yeah.
If it's that
well,
hot.
the thing is, I can produce that in mass, but those are custom orders. So, like the fashion show, we have a trunk show the next day, and all the collection people come and buy. And I have a group of women in Palm Springs that come in and wipe me out. But I let them because they're great.
And they're regular shoppers from you. They know your designs.
Every time I show there, they come in and wipe me out.
Wow.
And it's a large group. So, and then they. It's funny because they fight over, because one will get that one will get that one. And they say, well, I want that one. And they're like, no, it's mine. So can you make me that one? Because she took it and can't, or, just change its color or change. So yeah, we've sold it. But this can easily be translated into a mass market, say if we want to sell it at Saks. We could easily translate it to work for everybody in mass market.
Do you make your own clothes?
When I have time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy that, or would you rather design for something else that's not you?
I'd rather design for somebody else, because there's a certain satisfaction out of seeing that on the red carpet, or there's a satisfaction about seeing a lady on the bus wearing one of my coats. They're equally as great. Actually, I like seeing the everyday person walk down the street wearing one of my dresses or a coat. That to me is even more exciting than seeing a celebrity wearing that on the red carpet. Yeah.
I bet that I could see why.
It is. It's a real. When I sold on QVC, I was I had my own line on there, my own hour show for 3 seasons, 3 years. I was signed for a year, but we did well, and they kept redoing it. So I had spots, and then I had my own hour show right before Isaac Mizrahi, which. Again, we would sit in the green room, and he was one of the judges on All Stars. So we would talk, and he was great. Gave me a lot of great advice. He's been at this a long time. But when I sold on QVC, I would sell 30,000 garments per season. Like we'd sell 1,000 pieces in 7 seconds.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, so it's a totally different world, totally different animal, where I've sold at Lord & Taylor at their New York flagship store, and they'll order 400 dresses, and they'll sell them over the month. It's a mass market retail store. But yeah, the QVC network it's crazy, because we can see 2,200 dresses go in 3 minutes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's got to be a cool
Which
feeling,
is a
though.
really great experience for me, and I had my time there, and then it ended, and I was okay with that, because I did it, and I got that experience from that. Which the experience I learned from that is, when I design something for my label, for them, or to be sold on their show, I have to have everybody in mind, every shape, every size, or they won't buy it. So I deliver 60 sketches, and the buyers go through and they pick up 20. They buy 20 of those 60 I deliver. We produce those, and all 20 have to work for size 2 to size 28 women's, and they have to look the same. So no matter what body you put it on, it has to look the same, and it has to make them feel good. So taking that, as you call them, petite size or missy size, and then translated it into a women's world size. There's people that specialize in that. But it was so satisfying to get emails from these women from all over saying, thank you so much for making what you would make for your runway model size and my size, and I feel just as good. That to me was the most important.
I bet.
That was the experience ever. Yeah, right there.
Is there an ultimate goal that you have, like if I could be in that show or have my clothing sold here? Like, do you have an ultimate, once you've done it, I've done it, I'm good? Or have you hit that already?
No, I don't think I ever will. Some of the greats, like Karl Lagerfeld, and they do it till they die. It's just their passion, what they love. Could I see myself floating around in a raft for 8 months, in the middle of a lake or something? Yeah, but I don't think I'll ever stop, in one way or another. I always inspire the upcoming, the kids. I was at BYU in December for their show because I happened to be here during that time. And I went up there and they're like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, supporting the kids. What do you think I'm doing here?
No, that's great.
They're the future. They're the next ones.
I bet they were thrilled to see you, the students.
Just like I was thrilled to see Tim, who I admired so much. It's about passing down our experience and supporting the next one's coming, So I don't think I'll ever quit. I mean, every time I finish a show or I finish a dress, I finish it and I say, this is fantastic and it's going to be better next time. And that's just my mindset, and I'm never satisfied.
So what is one or two basic tips you can give first to the women watching and to the men watching on dressing and looking sharp while affordable?
Yeah, of course. Well,
Yeah.
I'm a mix and match. Growing up, I didn't grow up rich. Okay, so as an adult, I might be wearing a Dior jacket I found in a vintage store in New York, and a pair of H&M jeans, and a pair of Converse sneakers.
Yeah.
So it's not about where it came from, it's about how it looks together. Like my daughter and I and wife, we vintage shop all the time. I like a deal. I never pay full price because I know I can find it somewhere. So that's the excitement. I could shop for 8 hours a day because it's about the hunt. It's about finding what I want and knowing I got a good deal.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
what I am.
Yeah.
So my advice is you got to feel good about yourself. Don't dress for someone else. Dress for yourself. But be mindful of that and put a mirror by your front door. And when you walk out, look in that mirror and check yourself before you leave.
And that's universal for men and women.
Yeah, of course.
Boys and girls.
Dogs too.
Dogs too.
Sometimes that leash
Cats
needs
too.
to be, green. And it's just gonna...
Well, on St. Patrick's Day, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you design your wife's wedding dress?
No.
No?
I didn't sew then.
Oh, okay.
She bought me the first sewing machine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So no, I did not. But we looked for it and we bargain shopped and we found something we both agreed upon, and she looked beautiful, and that's what we went with. And we did everything ourselves for our wedding. It was just her and I. Parents didn't pay for it. We did, and we were right out of high school working. College working, and we did all our center arrangements. We made all our invitations. We did everything ourselves.
There's a lot of people out there that have done that exact same thing. So
it's the best.
Yeah.
We kept it small. Like we've gone to friends' weddings where, there's 350, there's 600 people here. This is a banquet. This isn't a wedding. So we had about 80 people, I think. It was all our immediate family and our closest friends, and it was in a tiny, tiny chapel that they all could barely fit in.
That's great.
And we did it there, and then we had a reception at one of their houses. And that was the most fun because we actually got to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And that was important to us.
How are you guys, what do you think of Idaho Falls, Eastern Idaho so far? It's been winter.
Besides the number one question, or number one answer, cold.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not used to this cold yet.
Yeah.
Even coming from Portland, it's not this cold.
Sure.
And then from San Diego, Portland was cold,
Mm-hmm.
But we had been in Portland a long time, and we were ready to move on. So it's an adventure. I see it getting better, and we have been all over. We've been to High C already. We really venture around when it's nice out. Even if it's cold, even if it's sunny, we go.
Yeah.
So we plan, I think, on going up towards that way this weekend. And I don't know, we haven't settled in. It's not home yet because we haven't got to fully experience
Sure. Yeah, after only 2 months in the worst part of the year, it's not. Give it
well,
a few.
at that time, we're preparing for shows and we're gone for 8 days and we move the rest of us. We just really haven't experienced. Everybody tells me, just wait till summer, it's worth it. There's all this stuff to do, which I believe. I can't wait to go to the zoo. I love zoos. I can't wait to go to Bear World. I can't wait to go to Jackson.
Yeah.
You know?
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone, yeah. We
Yeah.
plan on camping and hanging. We like camping.
Great.
You know, not in a tent, but we like camping.
Well, if you could go to Yellowstone for the day and then hit up a hotel or
No,
rent an RV.
We have a trailer.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Sleep in the trailer.
No, it feels like you're camping, you know. You still
Yeah.
cook outside and stuff.
There you
We
go.
like it. Campfires, I love campfires.
Yeah. Roast some marshmallows.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to see what happens here with FinFun. I guess the new line, you watching at home can go onto their website probably by summer and see the new.
No, so the way it works is we're on a 12-month cycle.
Okay.
That's a retail cycle. So what the buyers buy in August will hit the shelves in the end of February 2020.
Oh, okay. So in about a year from now.
Yeah, a little over. Yeah, it's a 12-month cycle. So we sell, the buyers buy in August for spring summer 2020. Then they buy it in February for August 2020. So
Oh, man.
it's a cycle.
Okay.
Well, and that's a short cycle, one of the short cycles. Other than if you're a boutique and they buy in the moment. But when you look for a larger production, excuse me, that's the cycle. Most of them are 18 months out. Some are even 24.
Wow.
Yeah, like the bigger companies, like
2 years out.
yeah, yeah.
Well, you've opened my eyes. I know nothing about fashion or clothing
Well, you
or
look sharp.
designing. Well, I don't know. JCPenney, Kohl's.
Yeah,
Something like
Zara,
that. Yeah.
H&M.
There you go.
It's like, where can we find it?
I'm sure if my wife were here, she'd have 50 more questions for you. But thank you for coming in and talking with us.
Of course.
And welcome to Eastern Idaho. We hope you and your wife settle in. And
Actually, I think they're running a thing on FinFun. Or finfun.com.
Sure.
There's actually where people can ask questions, and then I'll get all those, and we're going to answer many of them.
oh yeah, that's great. That's a great
Yeah.
idea. So go to the website. We'll include the link below where you can do that and have an expert here answer your design questions.
Well, I'll do my best.
You'll be fine. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you for watching. Have a good week.